Kendrick Lamar's parents, Kenny Duckworth and Paula Olivier, faced a challenging situation early in their relationship. Kenny was involved with the gangster disciples in Chicago, prompting Paula to give him an ultimatum. They could leave Chicago together in search of a better life, or their relationship would end. Choosing the former, they took a train to California with only 2 garbage bags of clothes and $500 in cash. Their early days in California were tough, involving fast food jobs, sleeping in their car, and occasional stays in motels or parks. After 3 years of struggling, they finally saved enough to get an apartment. Kendrick was born soon after, and although his childhood in Compton was stable inside their home, the external environment was chaotic. Kendrick's parents prioritized education and created a safe home, ensuring there was always food and Christmas presents for him. Despite the stability, Compton's dangers were ever present. Kendrick witnessed a shooting at age 5 and inadvertently got caught up in the Rodney King riots at 6. His love for writing and hip-hop blossomed, fueled by experiences like seeing Tupac and Dr. Dre filming a video. Kendrick's adolescence in Compton was marked by a delicate balance between staying out of trouble and being surrounded by it. Despite his intelligence and motivation, he found himself on the edge of criminal activities. His parents kicked him out at one point, emphasizing the difficulty of navigating Compton's challenges. In high school, Kendrick's passion for rap solidified. A friend, m.A.A.d, recognized his talent during a spontaneous 20-minute rap session while walking home. Jeezy advised Kendrick to stay away from street pitfalls, predicting his success if he avoided jail and harm. Despite facing the temptations of a potentially troubled path, Kendrick's father, Kenny, intervened, urging him not to follow in his footsteps. Kendrick Lamar's early music journey started at 16, signing with Top Dog Entertainment in 2004 after releasing a mixtape titled Young Neighbor in Charge. Although the mixtape wasn't remarkable, Kendrick's self-assured declaration of competing with listeners' favorite rappers foreshadowed his future success. Lil Wayne's endorsement in 2009 further propelled Kendrick into the music industry. Overall, Kendrick Lamar's early life was marked by the duality of Compton's chaotic exterior and the stability within his family. This internal conflict became a central theme in his later musical storytelling, influencing albums like Section 80 and Good Kid, m.A.A.d. Kendrick's early music. In the fall of 2010, Kendrick Lamar released Overly Dedicated, a project often considered his breakthrough, and marked his first appearance on the Billboard charts when it peaked at 46 on the Heat Seekers chart. While not reaching the artistic heights of his later work, Overly Dedicated remains Kendrick's best and final mixtape. If treated as an album, it might be considered his least impressive due to the mixtape's production and engineering not yet matching the levels he would later achieve. Despite this, Kendrick's rap skills were already notable, even though he had yet to fully develop the distinctive voices that would define his later work. The mixtape's production, though jazzy and dynamic, wasn't on par with the sophistication found in his later music. However, what sets Overly Dedicated apart is Kendrick's refusal to fall into the trap of being a preachy conscious rapper. Instead of simply rejecting the vices and sins around him, he artistically portrays the good and bad aspects of life in Compton in a more nuanced and human way. Overly Dedicated can be seen as a prototype for the cinematic storytelling Kendrick would later perfect on albums like Good Kid, m.A.A.d. Although not as polished or intricate, it offers a glimpse into the artistic evolution that would characterize his later discography. Despite its relative rawness, Overly Dedicated is worth a listen, especially since it's available on streaming services. Good Kid, m.A.A.d. Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, m.A.A.d. is a masterful narrative that transcends the typical scope of an album. In this autobiographical journey, Kendrick reflects on his upbringing in Compton, portraying the impact of a harsh environment on his youth. The album brilliantly captures the universal theme of maturation, making it relatable beyond the specifics of Kendrick's experiences. The turning point in the record occurs when a friend's death prompts Kendrick to reassess his life choices, leading to a profound exploration of themes like poverty, violence, and the cyclical nature of struggle. The standout track, Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, delves into Kendrick's dark outlook shaped by exposure to violence and drugs, presenting a poignant commentary on the generational effects of poverty. The album's narrative clarity and Kendrick's ability to merge personal reflection with broader societal issues make it a timeless and exceptional piece of storytelling, solidifying its place among the greatest albums ever created. To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, and To Pimp a Butterfly represent Kendrick Lamar's earlier works, showcasing his growth and exploration of complex themes. While the former is celebrated for its storytelling and West Coast hip-hop influence, the latter, To Pimp a Butterfly, is often regarded as one of the greatest albums ever made. Kendrick delves into political and analytical narratives, drawing inspiration from global events like visiting Nelson Mandela's jail cell and reacting to the Black Lives Matter movement. The album weaves together jazz, soul, and funk, creating a kaleidoscopic sonic experience. Kendrick tackles profound topics, addressing violence, power, trauma, and self-loathing. The deep and intricate nature of To Pimp a Butterfly makes it a masterpiece, though its complexity may limit accessibility for some listeners. As Kendrick Lamar progressed, he faced the challenge of accessibility with To Pimp a Butterfly. Despite critical acclaim and Grammy nominations, the intricate layers of the album made it less approachable for a broader audience. In response, Kendrick's fourth album, Damn, sought to maintain the depth of his previous work, while aiming for wider accessibility. The album continued to explore the themes introduced in To Pimp a Butterfly, but with a more streamlined approach, potentially reaching a larger audience. Kendrick's artistic evolution and commitment to addressing societal issues through his music solidify his reputation as a cultural commentator and one of the most influential figures in contemporary American music. Damn, Kendrick Lamar's fourth album, Damn, marked a shift towards a more accessible sound while maintaining meaningful ideas. Unlike the dense musical inspirations of To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn drew from pop, trap, and contemporary R&B. Despite its commercial success, the album faced polarizing opinions, with some critics and fans perceiving it as a departure from Kendrick's previous intricate style. However, Damn delves into themes of faith and the struggle with religious beliefs amidst challenging circumstances. Kendrick explores the idea that faith may not be sufficient to sustain moral values, and the album reflects on the complexities of self-doubt and the internal conflicts faced by individuals. In essence, Damn continues Kendrick's tradition of speaking for his culture and people, providing a nuanced perspective on faith, morality, and societal struggles. Black Panther and Kendrick's hiatus. Kendrick Lamar's fans were still eagerly anticipating his upcoming album, his last with Top Dog Entertainment, TDE. Despite the ongoing social and political issues, Kendrick had stayed relatively silent, fueling curiosity about what his final statement with TDE would encompass. The anticipation grew, with Kendrick having established himself as a significant cultural commentator and artist who addressed the complexities of society through his thought-provoking music. As fans awaited his next move, Kendrick's impact on social movements, particularly during the Black Lives Matter protests, underscored his influence beyond the realm of music. The next chapter in Kendrick's musical journey was eagerly awaited, promising to be a culmination of his artistic evolution over the years. M.A.A.d and the Big Steppers. Kendrick Lamar sent shockwaves through the music world when, a third of the way into the year, he unexpectedly announced his retirement on Twitter. The announcement, accompanied by a link to a note stating M.A.A.d and the Big Steppers 5/13/22, set the internet ablaze with anticipation for what was presumed to be his final album. When the album, titled M.A.A.d and the Big Steppers, finally dropped, it garnered mixed reviews. While some expected a certain sound and were disappointed, others, myself included, found it to be a masterpiece. The album unfolds like a therapeutic journey, delving into Kendrick's most vulnerable experiences, addressing family dynamics, parenthood, protection, and personal trauma. Throughout the record, Kendrick explores his duality, confronting the capacity for both good and evil within himself. The central theme revolves around the generational curse, exploring how the actions of ancestors shape our lives and perpetuate cycles of suffering. M.A.A.d is not a conventional crowd pleaser, but its depth and introspection make it Kendrick's most profound work to date. The album concludes with a powerful revelation, where Kendrick declares, "I choose me. I'm sorry," signifying his prioritization of self-healing over the role of a cultural savior. In my opinion, M.A.A.d and the Big Steppers stands as one of Kendrick's top albums, showcasing exceptional songwriting and a profound level of self-awareness. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.